Wake Up Call, Nancy, December 6, 2016. Website, Tree of the Golden Light. I received an email today from a lady with interesting questions. When I began to answer her, I felt that she was a beautiful inspiration for me to express what I've been feeling lately. As I began replying to her, I realized that this was perfect for today's wake-up call. I have been feeling lately like the truth of what we all must focus on is how we are feeling right now about our lives. Are we waiting for the funds to come in, or for someone else to give us what we want? Are we putting off what we feel we should do to make our lives better, more in tune with what we want to experience? Or do we continue to wait for this and that to come from outside of ourselves? I have been giving that idea a lot of energy lately, and the more I experience what it feels like, the more I realize, we are putting too much emphasis on what others outside of ourselves are saying and putting their emphasis on. I am feeling very strongly that it is time to take the wheel again and move forward in the direction that we feel to go. When I decided a little over 20 years ago to move from Maine, to the Southwest, it was because Spirit had given me the inspiration to do so. As I moved forward in the steps that came to me to take, they all worked and brought me to the newness of who I am. As I drove through the plains on my trip to New Mexico, suddenly I realized that I was making the move to finally open up to the truth of who I am. There was nothing in my sight ahead that clouded my insight, and gave me different ideas to guess about who I am, and how to live my life. That is how I have to live my life now. I feel that is the best way for anyone to live their lives, even when the person beside you has a different idea. It is a matter of being patient and allowing the inner feeling to guide you in your next steps. So, I feel that when you spend a great deal of time waiting for what others are telling you is coming, then it is a matter of asking yourself, why are you waiting on what you want in your life, which is all about being in joy, peace and love. I'm feeling that it is time for me to step out in a different direction and follow what I am inspired to do. Since being out here in the Southwest, the money was always there when I needed it, the friends were always there when the times were right, the circumstances always were a blessing, or a lesson, which is its own blessing. Money is not evil, but it is not all that we need to bring the contentment into our lives. As long as we know that we deserve to have what we desire that makes us feel good and at peace, then we will see it come forth in our lives, as long as we move in the directions that are inspired from our inner voice and feelings. It just occurred to me that if this situation with the RV, etc. hadn't come along, there are those of us who might not have found the way to move forward in our lives into the ascension that we are headed for. In order to be in that energy, we will find that feeling joyful, in peace, and open to all that is based on love is the answer for every move in our lives. Sending love to anyone who moves in a way that resounds with their issues, helping someone who has fallen to the ground when trying to run into something, or someone who has taken something from others, responding to anything with love is the way to help others to remember that they are here in that love energy that brought them to this experience in the first place. Knowing that love will bring to us that which we ask for on a soul level, at any time and any place that we find ourselves in, is the strongest way that we can create our lives the way we want them. Whatever is the best way for us to flow through these times, it will definitely be from our power to do it all in love for ourselves and everyone else. We were all in this together, and we resonate with each other in ways that we are not even aware of. Trust in what we are led to do from inside, and know that whatever the outcome, it is perfect for us and everyone else. Love is all there is, and as the Moses Code tells us, I am that I am. Thank you, James Twyman, for the video about that. YouTube title, James Twyman, The Moses Code, Awaken to Your Divine Purpose. Much love, Nancy Tate. Wake Up Call, Ohmnipure, December 3, 2016. There is a time coming in all people's lives when they will ask themselves, what am I waiting for? I am supposed to be waiting for what someone else can bring me? Or am I supposed to be bringing what I want to my life, even if it is in stages? Perhaps I can learn through the stages and get so much more out of them. That is what is coming to the front in so many people's lives. It is not what they have been told is going to come to them through others. It is what they can bring into their own lives that will suit them right now, as far as what they see they want in the next moment. This is what life has been all about, you say. Well, what has it brought to your life when you have made the steps in the direction that suits you right now? Have you found something that appeals to you, or has it been something that you wish hadn't happened? Perhaps you saw on your soul level that which you needed to see, or would benefit from seeing, before what you knew you wanted came into your life. It is a wonderful journey that has been taking place around the globe. It has brought many things to all of the people, not only through their eyes, but through the eyes of the others who have been part of the experience or have been told about it. This is not a part of being able to bring the wealth to your door. It is a part of being able to bring whatever it takes to help to bring the harmony into your lives, and being able to see what it is that can bring it and serve you all in the process. It is being able to know ahead of time and trust it to bring what you feel is the next thing to experience. It will bring so many to the door of remembrance, and then to the path of recreating in the moment that which you desire and intend to experience. I speak to you now with the knowledge that you are all in the journey that you have chosen. Does this not make sense to you? It is the way you have always learned what is keeping you from being able to manifest that which you want in your lives. What have you done in the past when you have had to wait for someone else to bring you the next step of being able to live the way you want? Are you not still following that step-by-step journey? Are you not seeing that there is so much that is being said out there that is governing what you feel to do and wait for? I suggest that you take a look and ask what your feelings are about how you have lived your lives so far. What would your next step have been back in the journey that you have created? It is wonderful to say that the past is over, but then ask yourself if the past is not part of your future due to what it has brought to your present life. If what you did in the past had an effect on what your next choice was, then is it not something to consider could be the next step in its own expression of the coming times? Ask yourself if there is really any such thing as time, and that can bring a whole new way to look at how your life has been and how it got you to the present, and only time in your life. That is right, no? It is the term that has come forward so much, I am that I am. Take a look at that and see how it can influence your life in so many ways. Consider how all that has ever been can be experienced again in a way that creates the new, and brings new energy of experience into your life. I am Ohmnipure, and I am speaking now in a way that I have so many of you considering, in your own unique way. I see and feel how you are listening to all of the voices around you, and then you tune into what your inner voice says. This is your opportunity to combine what you are hearing and make your own choice as to the next step in your journey. You are beautiful, intelligent, wise, and wondrous beings. You are here on this planet for so much that you have been doing, and will be doing in the coming expressions. I see you wandering around in the debris of the days, and also in the clearing of the moments, as you continue to create your lives in this journey of reawakening to what you are capable of. I see you considering how you can bring forth the wonders of the journey in a way that can add to the experience of the coming times. Go for the joy and peace in your lives and express it all in the love that you all are. You are capable of what you desire. Go forth and prove it to yourselves in the love that you shine forth to all of life. Thank you, dear Ohmnipure. Much love, Nancy Tate.
Mashhaba Platinum Light. Anakhanda Mushaba speaks about Porda, Papa Force, November 27, 2016. Webpage, mushhabaforce.com. Greetings and blessings. Today I wish to share some information with you about my father Porda, better known as Papa Force of the Mashhaba family. I am sharing this information because I have had many ask me to share more information about Porda's passing. I gave it a great deal of thought, and I also discussed it with him to see if he had any particular thing he wanted me to share with all of the readers who he considers his friends and family. I, at first, was hesitant about sharing such sensitive information publicly. I would like to tell you a story that is a true story about the Mashhaba family and how our father, whose name at the time was Wali Karim Mashhaba, before he left this earth life and journeyed to the other side of the veil. The Mashhaba family has a long history of serving humanity on behalf of not only the Mashhaba people, but also the many councils of the universe, which includes the Council of Elders, the Council of 12, the Andromeda Council, the Universal Councils, the Galactic Councils, the Council of Creation, the Mashhaba Council, and others. Some of it may be very complicated, so do your best to stay with me and I will do my best to explain as clearly as earth words will allow me to. In this lifetime we of the Mashhaba family made a pact, an unbreakable pact, before entering this lifetime. Some of the family came as their original selves and some of the family came as what is called a bubble up, which is another creation of the original self. The original self is involved directly in this bringing forth of this bubble up. A bubble up, in the short explanation, is where two beings or more come together and lend their essences in the birthing of another being from the original. The bubble up is born as all the others are, and the way this happens is as if you can imagine how something bubbles over. There is so much love that is the core of these bubble ups that the love bubbles over and flows into this being that is in its mother's womb. Also, there are other beings that lend their essences to this bubble up that is instilled as part of the essence of this being. You can find a great deal of information in the upcoming new book release called Open Your Eyes. You can see the Maldian story, A Leader Hiding in Time. This is a fascinating account of a being that underwent an amazing transformation from a frumpy middle-aged man, to an amazing being of great and magnificent light and power. He was sought after by both the light and the dark because they each knew that what this being carried would change the balance between dark and light, and whoever had him on their side would have the power to take over the universe. This being Maldian was neither dark nor light. I am going to share with you what a part of our pact was. One of the main components of our pact was that no one was to die this lifetime, but we would all stand together at the end of the day as one in our God oneness. We would not die to ascend, but ascend into our true selves and God oneness while still living in the earth body. This was agreed upon by Creator, and the Mashhaba Council, as well as others that were involved in this decision. As all of you who have been reading the information that Porda has been providing, you are aware that Porda passed away on October 22, 2013 at 4:15 a.m. I share this again for new readers that may have not known this information before now. Everyone was in total shock because we had an unbreakable pact and no one was to die, period. Even when he was at his worst during his illness, we were told that he would seemingly be getting worse and then he would suddenly bounce back with a renewed strength and vigor never experienced before. We were constantly being told by Spirit right up to the moment that he left this plane that he would not die. So we wondered what happened. How could this unbreakable pact be broken? How could this contract that was bound by agreement of Creator and the councils be broken? Because this happened, we were left numb for a while. However, we still continued to move onward and forward in spite of the pain of the loss. The thing is, we knew that he wasn't gone, but he was not physically with us on this plane. We knew that we could communicate with him and see him in his spirit form, but to us it still was not the same as him being here where we could touch and hug, etc. Soon we settled in pretty quickly because we had so many laughs and wonderful memories of him. It was as if he was still here with us physically. We found out from Papa Force what happened and why it happened. His level of service to creation and all of humanity cannot be put into words. Papa made the ultimate sacrifice and we as a family suffered the ultimate sacrifice. However, once we understood the what, and the why, and it gave us so much inner peace and resolve. We were so exceptionally proud of Papa Force for what he chose to do for the sake of his family and all of humanity. I will share with you now directly from Porda what he shared with his family of Earth. Porda, Papa Force. Dear son Anakhanda and family, in the contract for this last lifetime I had, my death was not a part of the package. The Earth was supposed to have ascended while I was still in the Earth physical body. As you know, it did not materialize. I suspected that there was something that went wrong. I had the deep knowing that something was off and was not coming together as it should have. I also knew that we as a humanity should not have had to make the choice, that sacrifice to delay our ascension for more people to step up to the plate. So I needed to investigate this matter. I was able to change my contract, but only was I able to change it by giving myself up to death. This was the only way that I could investigate the problem directly. I had to do it from the spirit realm. Spirit never told you any untruth, for they didn't even know that I was going to make that decision until the moment I made it. So they were telling you what they knew because they also knew that my contract was not to die. They were as surprised as you were, dear family. After transitioning, I did some intense study and analysis of how contracts were handled, how behind schedule we were, for the Earth ascension had fallen far behind. Once I found out what had happened, I had to act. First, living in higher dimensions, I was able to review the main actors of the ascended new Earth. On the Nexus, everyone wants the arrival of the new Earth as soon as possible. After planning, checking on various beings, I came up with a plan that would help to hasten the arrival of the total ascension of the Earth to the fifth dimension with its qualified population. To accomplish it, I devised a plan to secure financial, technical and energetic means to help those individuals involved to successfully accomplish its means during and after the Earth ascension. I was able to see that my family among others was at the forefront of these plans for our Earth ascension. Mashhaba and the councils are supportive of and approve those plans and means that I outlined above. One of the energetic means I had to urgently get was a guarantee that no one in my Earth family who are working together teaching Mashhaba energy courses would have to make the ultimate sacrifice as I did. One was enough. And I was the one that broke the pact and I had good sound reason to do so. No one else needed to do that. Leaving my family knowing that we made this unbreakable pact, I had to break it and it was a hard decision to make, but it was needed. Now I see that it was very important to have someone on the Nexus with fresh eyes from Earth and its problems to help speed up the whole process of Earth ascension to the fifth dimension. These fresh eyes proved too valuable to the councils, to Mashhaba, leader of the Mashhaba race and to Creator. For us in high dimensions, we do not offer perspective on our past life on Earth to a person who is still living on Earth even if he or she is a cherished member of our family, unless that person asks for it, and that we see that our explanation will help that person to heal or understand much better the struggles he or she is going through. So an exception was made to share some things with my family. Before I passed away from the Earth plane, I had made many out-of-body visits to the Nexus and had participated in many of the meetings discussing when and how the Mashhaba force should be presented and taught in the whole world in a much faster and precise way. During those meetings, I was made aware again that the Mashhaba family that is currently on Earth will play an important role in that work. Looking at the financial, technological and personal limitations we had in order to accomplish that mission, I had to decide how to solve those problems. The first step was to request a change in my contract so that I can come back on the Nexus to plan from there with a much broader view and with access to much wisdom from beings of light and love. The second step was to do an in-depth study of what my family would need to do their assigned work. Third, I had to lobby for my plans, and when approved by the Mashhaba Council of 12, I then started to recruit beings of light and love that will help in the application of my plans. And lastly, I started gathering the needed materials or means for the work. I want you to know that when I passed from the earth realm, Mashhaba and the Council of 12 Elders along with Altros, commander of the mothership Nexus, along with many family members were at hand to welcome me at the Nexus. The night I transitioned, I waited for you Anakhanda to be out of the room for my spirit to definitively leave the body. The reason was to protect you from deep sorrow that may have come upon you for many years after my departure. With your abilities to see many things that are behind the veil, you would have seen how my spirit was leaving my body to never come back to it, and you would have been able to see the team that escorted me from the body to the Nexus. You may have felt abandoned. So, that team felt that it was best for you to be away from my body in another room when my spirit and soul left it. I know that the moment I left the body, you immediately awakened and you knew that I had left. What I found that gave me ease was at how balanced and calm you were throughout the entire process of the family grieving and finally disposing of my body through cremation. I was very proud of all of my family as each of you handled yourselves in a calm and intelligent manner. Everyone of course had to get through the initial shock of sudden loss, but you did that wonderfully as well. So that is all I wish to share, and I hope that this in some way help others who have lost family members even though they may not understand why at the moment. It will all become clear in due time. Many are changing their contracts because they are seeing that they can serve their families and humanity as a whole a great deal better from a higher perspective and support those of you still left in the body. Thank you all. With love and integrity. Anakhanda Shaka Mashhaba.